To this important information, the state of Arizona has released its annual child fatality report, and some of the statistics are pretty disturbing.
Yeah, they really are pretty sobering. The death rate for kids 17 and younger has gone up over the last year, and health leaders say there are several factors contributing to this increase. So Kylie's joining us live with more on what these findings show. Good morning.
Good morning, Scott, and good morning, Olivia. This is definitely a sad but an important story for parents out there and for grandparents. 863 kids in Arizona died just last year, and the study found that almost half of these deaths were preventable. The goal here is to really examine each death and figure out what steps could have been taken to prevent the death. So we're going to start with what the study found was the most preventable, and that's car crashes. It tops the list this year. Almost half of the deadly crashes with kids involved teens 15 to 17. Some of these teens not wearing seatbelts, others driving recklessly, or both. Another preventable death, drowning. And the numbers show a dramatic increase. Last year, the state reporting 44 drowning deaths. That is more than double 2020's numbers. The study says that guns are also one of the most preventable causes of death in kids in the state. 75% of these deaths with firearms involve the 15 to 17 age group, boys making up nearly 80% of the victims. We talked to Dr. Gary Kirkless. He is a pediatrician here in the Valley about safe gun practices and what parents need to know.
It's really important for parents, if they do have guns in their home, to keep them locked, to also keep them unloaded, keeping the ammunition and the firearms separate and both locked. So that way, if a child were to get hold of it, or if an adolescent who is experiencing depression and things like that, they have that, at least that it's locked, and it makes it more difficult for children to get their hands on those things.
We know that COVID has had a much greater impact on older adults, but the study found that 31 Arizona kids died from COVID last year. More than 60% were younger than 12. It also found that 46 children died from opioid overdoses in the state, 44 of them from fentanyl. Dr. Kirkless says that parents really need to be talking about the dangers of opioids with their kids, in particular fentanyl. He says you want to make sure your kids know, your teens know, if they go to a party, if they see other people maybe taking a pill, that does not mean they should be taking that pill as well, because that one pill can cause a dramatic effect on their body. It could potentially cause them to stop breathing and maybe even cause them to die. So certainly alarming numbers here, and we don't want to scare any parents out there, but just let you know what some of the most common preventable deaths are and give you some tools and resources on how you can prevent your child from passing away from one of them. We'll send it back to you.